With new starters this fantastically designed, there's no way this game could go wrong. Actually, yes there is. There is a way that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet could go wrong, and today we've uncovered something that may be the first signs of a step backwards. I'm kind of worried, and I want to know if you are too. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Make sure to hit that like button if you're excited for Scarlet and Violet, because look, I am so much, right? The reveal was ridiculous. There was so much surprise, shock, and excitement around a brand new Gen 9 Pokemon game shipping later this year. All right, they promise a seamless open world. The graphics look even better than Legends Arceus, and it seems like this is gonna be the final full realization of Pokemon on Switch. And yet in our hype, we kind of overlooked something that couldn't have been a big dilemma and a big discussion. So definitely let me know in the comments down below what side you fall on this, okay? I think this is gonna really tip people both ways, and it comes from a very specific sentence that has been dissected on the main website for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Obviously, we're all hungry for more details, news, Pokemon, and info. I do have a video comprising all of that if you wanna see it. But right now, I wanna focus on these few sentences right here. You'll be able to see the Pokemon of this region in the skies, in the seas, in the forests, on the streets, all over. You'll be able to experience the true joy of the Pokemon series, battling against wild Pokemon in order to catch them. Battling against wild Pokemon in order to catch them. You know, in looking at this game and seeing the Spanish influence and how wonderful it looked, I just read this and was like, man, it's open world, we're not loading into different areas. They somehow have leveled up, even from Legends Arceus, just in the exact same year. Battling against wild Pokemon in order to catch them is absolutely a nod to a throwback to the series of how it has been. Now, catching in Pokemon has really gone through some different strokes this generation. In Let's Go, we saw them completely abandon wild battles and just say, throw them balls. I mean, it was very jarring at first, like motion control, throwing the balls. You didn't have to do it that way. But players were like, okay, this is very much, it's kind of reductive, right? They really shrunk it down to the most basic parts, and it felt reminiscent of something like Pokemon Go. In fact, that's absolutely what they were building off of. And then we went to Sword and Shield, and it was back to traditional Pokemon. And then we moved to Pokemon Legends Arceus, and one of the best parts about that game was that you could creep and crawl through the grass, throwing your Pokeballs, firing away like a freaking real Pokemon trainer. You could also do battle, but you could just throw and catch. You didn't have to always engage, you could be a Pokemon trainer. And now by saying battling against wild Pokemon in order to catch them, it seems quite clear that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are going to be returning to the more traditional battle catch mechanics of the mainline series. Now, this is kind of both ways, because look, if Pokemon Legends Arceus hadn't come out, I don't think anyone would be talking about this. They just talk more about the eyes of the trainers and how they're smaller and look more realistic. Or about the eyes of Sprigatito, which are apparently askew and should be more level. But nitpicking aside, the catching conundrum has changed, because Legends Arceus was beloved, and it was beloved because it did things differently. It mixed up the Pokemon formula, and we thought it would be influential in what comes next. Now, what comes next is coming super soon, and it could absolutely feel like a step backwards. Are you prepared to go to a big, beautiful Pokemon world where you have to engage in battle, whittle down, and then catch? Did you feel like the catching evolution we saw in Legends Arceus was actually amazing like I did? It seems like most people did, and expect them to incorporate that going forward. Now, there's some different thoughts going around here. One is that, oh, these games are made by different teams. Legends Arceus just came out. There's no way that they can incorporate what they learned and found successful in Legends Arceus into Scarlet and Violet, because they're kind of like developing simultaneously, given that their releases are so close together. That is plausible, but I was really hoping that Legends Arceus was the warm-up for the next generation being kind of the even more real deal. That Legends Arceus as a spin-off was testing things out to then implement in the mainline 9. And that seemed to be the case early on, because this game does look like Legends Arceus, but set mainline. Now, I've also seen some people say that, like, okay, back in the Hisuian region, like, Pokemon were just very wild, and so you needed to go catch hundreds of them, right? Dozens of the same type. And so it made sense to just be firing away. And those mechanics don't translate as well to a mainline Pokemon game where you're not going to be popping off 50 Metapods, right? That's not a part of how progression through gyms and your trainer journey really goes in the mainline franchise. And so that mechanic no longer really applies. And I do think there's merit to that. Yet I do feel like gameplay and mechanics should trump over any of that sort of minutia. Like, just make it work so the game is more fun. Like, you always prioritize the 30-second loop of fun, and doggone it, the 30-second loop in Legends Arceus was the most fun Pokemon's been in forever. And we have throwbacks, right? We have the Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl situation where it's very much just like, this is how Pokemon was. And yet it seems like Game Freak might be super entrenched in making sure that things stay the same. Now, this is not a death sentence by any stretch of the imagination. Don't think that I'm down on these games. And maybe they found a way to make it a hybrid style where you are battling and catching, but there are alternative options as well. You know, you do have to blend in like trainer battles, wild battles, catching, building your team, gym battles. Maybe they found a new way to just kind of work that all together. It's interesting that they say you'll be able to experience the true joy of the Pokemon series. And to me, that says that Game Freak and the Pokemon Company believe that the traditional routine is what we view as the essence of Pokemon. And I think Legends Arceus showed us more so than Let's Go, because some people like Let's Go, but I feel like it was like, that's just like a weird spin-off. It's a throwback, but it's for new players, but it's for young ones, but it's, you know, their first thing on Switch. Legends Arceus, though, universally, like, Poke Pros and Poke Newbies are like, yes. So maybe they really do need to relearn what makes Pokemon special. And maybe Legends Arceus actually came out too close to Scarlet and Violet to make an impact. If that is the case, I personally will be very bummed because we've seen so much Pokemon on Switch. All right, Let's Go, Sword and Shield, Shining Pearl, Legends Arceus, Snap, Mystery Dungeon, Cafe Remix, like the list goes on, and Scarlet and Violet is another one. Is there time, space for another Switch Pokemon? Are we waiting till the next console for them really to unify the great ideas we've seen across these different types of games? Is Pokemon spread thin now in a weird way where Let's Go has its own style, Legends has its own style, Mainline has its own style, and man, they'd be benefited by just sticking them together. I know they want to see yearly Pokemon releases, and the sales numbers and the dollars earned definitely show that they make the right decision. But I do hope that Game Freak finds a way to bring their best ideas and put them forth in each of these types of games. Just because it's mainline doesn't mean it must stick to everything mainline has ever meant. At least that's how I feel. Now, there might be some of you out there that believe, no, mainline should be mainline. Legends Arceus, Let's Go, do your own thing, but mainline Pokemon will, till the day I die, be mainline Pokemon. And I'd love to hear if that is your take. But I think video games are an evolutionary process. I think that we would be sad and silly to feel like we need to stay entrenched in gameplay design choices that were developed back on the freaking Game Boy Color. That is eons ago at this point in time. And if we look at many of Nintendo's franchises, they have made major steps forward for the better. And Legends Arceus is one of those examples. Will it come into play in Scarlet and Violet? Will it wait till the next one? Will Game Freak never affect mainline Pokemon, or have they found a new system? I really am hoping for the latter. I'm okay with doing catching and battling. That's not inherently bad, but I do want them to bring in some more organic and fun, fresh, I'm really a Pokemon trainer mechanics, so that this is an incorporated, engaging, and very immersive game where you feel like I'm in this world. I'm playing with Pokemon, and they call it out at the top of the sentences we have been so obsessed with. You'll be able to see Pokemon of this region in the skies, in the seas, in the forests, on the streets, all over. I want those Pokemon all over to serve more of a purpose than just a visual representation of a random battle. We've done that in JRPGs for years. Pokemon, they're living, breathing creatures. There's a way to incorporate them into the skies, seas, forests, and streets in a way that services gameplay, visuals, and immersion. Scarlet and Violet, I hope you find a way. Let me know in the comments down below where you fall on the battling against wild Pokemon in order to catch them conundrum. I'd love to hear from you, and I think this is something that is going to build until we see more of the game, hopefully this summer. I bet we will. And we learn exactly what seamless open world really means and what the Pokemon Company thinks the true joy of the Pokemon series actually is. In the meantime, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. I love our community, and I cannot wait to cruise through all the Scarlet hours until these games actually drop. Thank you again. Make sure to stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, my wonderful friends, SwitchForce out.